Hey y'all, so this video is going to be about a Samson moment where these spouses, this particular group of spouses for who this is for in this time, that betrayal is about to take place. Their hair is about to be cut, okay, by by that Delilah that's been in their life. And that could be a literal person, y'all, or it could be something like a job, right? Something that they've put their time and effort and trust into, rather than in God and His will. That thing is about to betray them, okay? Their hair is about to be cut. And this started getting downloaded yesterday. So I was sitting down watching TV and with my daughter, and it was a show that literally had this baby getting their hair cut. And then at the same time that was on, I had noticed Kim Kardashian had gotten her hair cut, y'all. You know, I'm not trying to be hating on this, but there's just some haircuts, hair colors, hairstyles that suit some people, and then they don't suit others so much. And I didn't find the haircut flattering, in my opinion. She's better with long hair. That's just my opinion on that. But it's not my hair. It's not my problem. But anyways, that haircut came up at the same time I was watching the baby get their haircut on the TV. And then a little bit later, my daughter took some play scissors, okay, and she started cutting my hair. I was like, okay. And then my mom had sent me something about hair, and I swear there was some other thing about a haircut too. There was another, it was just like undeniable, like about the hair cutting. And I'm like, okay, God, what are you trying to say? Then he brought me back to how he has been showing me a lot lately about kissing, like kisses. And that might be a twofold message, but right now he was highlighting Judas. Okay. And that also, represents a betrayal. Okay. And then, God, so essentially, and then there's a spouse, okay, that actually that's what it was. There's a spouse that's getting their hair cut today, literally, okay? Let's just put it that way. So I was like, okay, wow. And today, the date actually means, what is today? 108 in the Strongs, which means, I think it means testimony, witness, or something. Y'all look that up. It means testimony, though. So you're about to see a testimony, right? You're about to witness this thing happening, okay? That's how you'll know it's for you, too. You're going to find out some way, somehow, about this betrayal that's going to take place. And again, it could be a person, or it could be something like a job, right? They get fired. Whatever it is, right? Whatever that thing is that's been keeping them afloat, okay? Whatever it is they've been putting their time and energy into. It's a stripping that's happening, okay? A stripping. Destruction, ruin, loss, okay? And so another thing, so as far as Samson goes, Samson, I'm going to read it. Samson and Delilah. This is Judges chapter 16, starting at verse 4. After this, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah. She lived in the valley of Sorek. The kings of the Philistines went to Delilah. They said, try to find out what makes Samson so strong. Okay. So essentially, she kept bugging, trying to manipulate him, right, into revealing to her where his strength came from, right? And so once she found out, right, she betrayed him. She got them to cut his hair and he lost his strength, right? But here's the thing. The hair represents a covering. Hair represents coverings, right? And so, number one, in this time, as he is loving on us and being our covering, right? And providing for us and elevating us in this time and just pouring into us. On the flip side of that, the spouses that have been rebellious and just going, doing things that they should have been turning and repenting for and whatever the case, God is removing their covering, okay? He's placing that covering over us that he's stepping into, which he already has been, but that provider role, right? And that covering on us and just pouring into us and being that husband to us in this season. Wherever our husbands lack, God is watering that area, right? So while he's being our covering, he's removing his covering off of them. That's what Samson's hair really represented, was God's finger, God's hand. It had nothing to do with his hair, right? It had everything to do with God's grace and such over him. And so this person, they've been thinking that, for example, if this is a job loss, right? They've been thinking that this Delilah, right, this job, okay, has been providing for them, right? Which maybe it has been, but at the end of the day, it's God's hand over them, right? That's providing for them. It has nothing to do with the physical material things. But that's what they put their energy and their faith into, is those kinds of things, right? So now there's a stripping happening and God is removing his hand, which in turn is going to remove his blessings, right? That money that's been coming in that they've been so focused on, because it's going to be like a priority shift, okay? They're going to realize, they're going to be humbled, okay? And so that, whatever that thing is, they're about to be betrayed by it. So maybe I keep saying job, but if they've been slaving to this business, right? And that's where they've been putting their time in. This job, and God may confirm that to you or have already spoken that to you, is going to end up betraying them, right? Where they end up getting fired or they end up getting a money cut, right? Like they've been expecting this raise, right? They've been expecting these things to come out of this job because they've been putting all their time and effort into it. But what's going to end up happening is this is going to be they're going to get betrayed by them, right? God's removing his covering and there is a betrayal happening. But here's what happens next. So once this happens, right, they're going to turn back to God, okay? And God is stripping them in this time of money, possessions, resources, some things that they've been finding useful, right? That's kind of been keeping them afloat. God is removing those things from them, stripping those things from them. I told y'all, like, October for a specific group is the month, okay? That's the timeline he gave me. And so with that being said, I believe Samson gets restored. Okay. They're going to be restored. Jacob is going to be restored. Like that hip socket moment, that's kind of where they're at, getting struck in the hip. And what's going to happen, the scales are falling from Saul's eyes, right? And there's that conversion, that moment where he goes from Saul to Paul, right? He's baptized by the Holy Spirit, and it's that conversion moment, right? And so they will have a recovery of sight, and when that happens, God will be then, he gave me cut, trim, and shine, make perfect. So it's going to be kind of like build a husband. He can start actually doing that work and building them up, right? Once this takes place, he will be able to start doing a work in them. If they suffer from addictions, drinking, smoking, whatever addictions they may suffer from, God will then be able to start working, like sitting them down, okay, and covering them, right? He's going to bring that covering back. And the thing is, what they're about to go through, it's going to look like God's hand isn't over them, because it's not. He's removing it, but he's actually really there the whole time, right? He's there with them. It won't feel like it. It's not going to feel good, but God's not going to let anything, bad happen to them, right? This is all for a bigger purpose, right? And it's for their better, for their good, right? Even though they might not be able to see it. Because when you're going through the fire, y'all, it hurts. It's hot, okay? And sometimes you wonder, like, you get mad at God, you throw fits, you get angry, and you're hurting, and it's like, why? Like, God, where are you? But he's there the whole time. He's in control. It's like a controlled fire, right? And so he's going to be cutting and trimming and just putting that shine on them, right? Like build a husband. That covering, he's going to be working on that covering, the hair, okay? He's cutting that thing, he's trimming that thing up, and he's going to make it shine, right? Your covering will be made perfect for you. And they just have to go through this destruction and judgment phase, this stripping. It's going to happen swiftly. It's not something that's going to drag on like everything else has been dragging on. It seems like it's going to be that's how he described it to me a few years ago. Like just a little, piercing gun, just like a quick piercing. That's how he had explained it to me. A stripping is happening, and then God starts working on them and fixing them up and building them up, right? He has to tear you down to build you back up, kind of thing. But God's like, prepare to be wowed. When he starts to reveal this to you and make this known to you that this is going on, he's like, prepared to be wowed, because you're actually going to see it with your eyes. It's just these two things have to take place now in this time. And then by whoever this is for, this group of people, by springtime, resurrection time, you're going to see that resurrection of that person. And then that's when you're going to see a resurrection of this person and the things in their life. Okay. You're going to see them start resurrecting, and everything around them start to resurrect. Okay. But for some time now, for the next several months until then, there's going to be loss, ruin, destruction, desolate place, right? There's going to be a stripping happening. Samson's about to get betrayed, right? Jesus is about to, well, they're not Jesus, but you know what I'm saying. There's a betrayal, Judas, right? That Judas is about to betray them. That Delilah is about to betray them. And who they thought was for them, these things that they thought were for them, are about to quickly turn their back, right? God is removing his hand temporarily, but he'll be there in the midst of it the entire time, right? It just won't feel like it. And then God will start to be able to recover their sight. And because once that process is up, he's gonna sit them down in a place of rest. I had a dream about my spouse on a couch some time ago being covered up. Okay. And I had seen his phone. I had gotten his phone, right? And I was looking at it, and it said addictions on there. That was in his search on his Google. And so God was showing me through that, like, they're going to be seeking that, phones represent connection, like your connection to God, right? And dreams sometimes. And so he was showing me, like, that's what they'll be working on and focused on while they're in a place of rest. So after this happens and they go through it, God's going to sit them down and give them rest and keep them covered and hidden while he works on them. Okay. So those are the things to come right now. This is timely for who it's for. Take it back to God, though, because it's not everybody's time. Not everybody's in the same seasons. Like I've said the other day, if you haven't been going through this process for a couple years now, if you just started going through it even just a year ago, or like 6 months ago, a few months ago, a few weeks ago, it's definitely not for you right now. But it could be for you at a later date, right? This could be a year from now for you. Just take it back to God. But in this time, while they're going through their fire, their stripping, their loss, their destruction, their judgment, God's going to be pouring into you and loving on you and being that husband to you. Watering those areas that your husband hasn't watered, right? Been watering those places that are dry and withered. That old water that's sitting in there, he's filling you with new fresh water, and by the end of this process, you're going to be bloomed into this beautiful flower, right? And you'll have this sweet smelling aroma, this sweet smelling fragrance, and you're just going to be bloomed to life. You're going to be thriving. And that's going to even, at the end of their process, that's going to be beneficial to them. It's going to be attractive to them. They may not see you now, but when they're in their healing stage, right? And they went through the deliverance and all of that, and they're humbled, they're going to see you. They're going to see God's light shining in and through you at that point. They might not see it now, but by the end of this process, come next spring, for the specific group, they're going to see you. So yeah, just take this back to God though. Just take this back to God, sit with him on it. Always test the spirit, right? And ask for specific confirmations. You can also ask God for timelines. He might not always give you one, but you can, ask for specific confirmation and ask for him to reveal to you the timeline for your specific situation. And yeah, I pray this gets to who it needs to get to at the right time. I pray this blesses y'all. If y'all feel led to sow, the information is always there in the description box. I thank y'all for all of the seeds that you do sow, and I pray that God bless you guys in return for those seeds that you sow and for everything that you're believing in. I pray that you see the manifestation of that with your eyes. And yeah, this also ties into, actually, I'm going to make another video about that. Never mind. All right. Y'all be blessed. Okay, bye.